Welcome to another episode of Reed All About It. I'm Reed. Today we're taking you guys along to the Sureshot Showdown, which is a PRS Regional one-day match. It's located at Sureshot Range, just south of Waterloo, Iowa. We're here in central Iowa. Current temperature is 32 degrees. Winds are supposed to be 10 to 20 miles an hour out of the east, so should be pretty sporting out there today. I've got my co-pilot Annika along with me today. She's going to be shooting as well. This is going to be her pretty much first match ever. She's shot a little bit with 223 and 224 Valkyrie in the past, but today she's breaking in her brand new 6mm Creedmoor that we had built. Shout out to Isaiah Curtis at Curtis Custom Weapons. He did the gunsmithing free of charge for her, which is a great thing. He's great for getting the youth shooters out into the sport. So we're going to take you guys along with us as we shoot this match. We'll see you on the range. But first, we're going to pick up some breakfast. Hot take for you Midwesterners. Quick Star / Quick Trip is vastly superior to Casey's in almost every way. Casey's pizza, yes, is better, but everything else about a Quick Star, Quick Trip blows Casey's out of the water. The only reason you'd like Casey's better is because you've never been to Quick Trip / Quick Star.
Stand by.
All right, so this was stage 9. And this stage, the shooter had to shoot from the tubes and then prone. You had to go, there was 2 targets and you had to shoot them near, then far, then near again. You had 2-minute time limits the entire day. This was a stage where holding over was the advantageous way to do it, just given the time limit, and the movement required dialing in between each shot likely wouldn't have yielded enough time to shoot the entire course of fire. I struggled on the far target. I was pretty well dialed on that first shorter plate, but the far target eluded me. I don't know if I just couldn't quite find the wind or if my dope was slightly off for elevation. As you can see there, I forgot to come back to the near target. I had a couple mental mix-ups throughout the day, just trying to manage videoing and my gear and Annika's gear. Keep those excuses intact. I hate to blame anything but myself, I guess. But found some impacts on this stage left pointing out there. Those 3 far ones. It was a 9-round total stage. The targets were 530 yards and 682 yards. Here Annika's up. We spent more time on fundamentals and stuff. I wasn't so concerned with her getting through the course of fire, but making sure the shots she did take were as accurate as they could be. She did very well, actually, at doing that. I kind of managed the dope for her. All day she struggled, using enough force and manipulating the bolt, both opening and closing it. So that's something we'll work on in practice. Something easy enough to practice, so that she can understand that she's not going to hurt anything and run that bolt with authority. But yeah, she got on both the long and short targets here, and from the tubes. That's not an easy shot. But she is a good shot. She's got good fundamentals. She can manage the recoil and things pretty well. Thanks again to our squad mates they were helping us out, giving wind calls all day when she did have a miss. You know, it's tough to say, you know, when she does miss, I'm not looking through the optic. I don't know how steady she is, so it's tough to say exactly. Was that
just off left? You've got 15 seconds.
You know, misread on the wind, or was it she just wasn't stable and broke the shot when it wasn't in the right spot? So we kind of take the calls with a grain of salt, but she did very well on this stage. And you know, got the hits that
go ahead and send it.
She should have.
All right, just cycle it back.
Then
we'll be out of time.
up next here we have stage 10, and that's the longest range stage. I didn't get my tripod and camera set up quick enough by the time it was my turn, so I just had Annika record me on my cell phone here. But this one, you started standing port arms, mag in, bolt back, as you did on pretty much every stage, and then you drop down to prone, and you engage targets 1 and 2 with 2 rounds, and then targets 3 and 4 with 3 rounds for a total of 10 rounds. Target 1 was 625, target 2 was 860, target 3 was 856, and target 4 was 1090. As you can see here, as I transition to target 2, the wind goes on target 2 is pretty much straight behind you, and then when you switch to target 3, it's pretty much full value. So I think I was holding maybe 2/10 on that target number 2, and then I went to 1.2 and finally got a hit there on target number 3. And I forgot to engage target 3 with 3 rounds, and then went to 1090 when I should have still been on target 3. So that cost me a hit because I found the impact on the second round on target 3. But those are my own mental mistakes. Like I said, it was first time trying to manage 2 sets of gear while videoing myself. So trying to keep a lot of things in order. I never did find an impact on that pretty much 1,100 yard target, which is disappointing. It's always fun to ring those really far ones, even with 4 rounds at it, but that's all right. It's there for next time. It was probably more or less a windage thing, you know. That was the challenging part of this stage, was, you know,
stand by,
changing those angles and figuring out exactly what the wind hold was. There, Annika's up, and as you can see there, just a rookie mistake. She, you know, threw the bag down way out in front of her rather than essentially at her feet, you know, thinking, you know, oh, the stock of the rifle is going to be back here. She threw it up kind of by where the bipod should have been.
Hold it straight up.
Here I'm giving her some coaching, trying to get her on the correct target. You know, that's something that comes with practice and experience. Is,
2 shots.
you know, I've shot at this range a lot of times, so I'm pretty familiar with where the target should be, as well as, you know, just a lot of practice getting into the scope and pointing my rifle, natural point aim, and those types of things. But she had quite a few misses on this stage, if I remember correctly. And that's one of the challenging things for her, is, you know, understanding that when we're switching directions and things, that the wind is going to switch substantially and things. But
5.6.
here we're getting her lined up. The target for this one, for this shot, you can see it all the way out there, that black berm in between those 2 clumps of trees. That's where this target is.
Yep.
It was a white square on a target with on a berm that also had another target for a different stage.
Off the right,
that
come
was
left.
a red triangle.
Hold left edge of the target.
Make one good shot here.
Yep.
overall, I was very pleased with Annika's fundamentals, marksmanship.
Time.
On this stage, another positional stage, this was stage number 1. And this one you had to engage targets 1 and then 2 with 1 round each from 5 positions. You could either do right, center, left, and then center, right again, or you could start on the left side and come back. The targets were 333 yards and then 364 yards. Again, probably a holdover stage for me. My dope was about 2/10 difference, so I dialed to, +1 on the close one and -1 on the second target, and just kind of held high and then low, or vice versa, sorry, low and then high on those plates. I think my dope was just a touch high. Either that or my 0 might have been about a 10th high, because I kind of was hitting the top of the plate. I was using a Magpul AICS pattern magazine. I couldn't find my 12-round MDT mag, which is what I primarily use. I was letting Annika use the 10-round one, and I don't know what, for whatever reason, but as the magazine got fewer rounds in it, the likelihood that I was going to feed over top of it got higher and higher. So about halfway through the day, I scrapped using that mag, and Annika and I just shared a magazine.
Just below?
Because I was tired of cycling that bolt and it not picking up around.
Maybe I should have been 0.9 and 1.1 instead of
catch in this
1.0 and 1.2.
When I had gotten it originally, the shell catch sat a little low, and even with my MDT mags, it wouldn't always consistently pick up around. But here we have Annika up again, and she's struggling a little bit finding those targets in the scope.
Push hard.
On most stages, I started with her on the rifle rather than port arms. She was timing out regardless, and she's there to have fun, and with time and practice, we'll work on building those positions on the clock.
What's that?
But she does pretty well. She was a little short for the middle position on this stage. We tried to get her up there, but
Hold that one on the
she's
center.
only about 5 feet 3 inches right now. Yesterday was actually her birthday. Happy birthday to her. So here we are trying to get on that
Is that too tall for
top one. As soon as she put the rifle up there, I knew because the targets were kind of down in the creek bottom, I knew she wasn't going to be able to get it high enough to get the angle pointed down enough for her to take those shots.
Good form.
But she got some hits on this stage.
30 seconds.
She also kind of struggled
Two
with
good
her
shots.
her hat and
A little low
clothing
on
all
that
day,
plate.
but such is life when it's 30 degrees out in March in Iowa. She was a trooper all day, never complained about
There you go.
being cold or anything weather related, or the mud or the muck that we were having to get down in. She did very well.
Shoot, go back to the first target again.
Here you can see she's kind of getting off of her bag. I need to work with her on getting that bag, or getting the rifle set on the bag so that she doesn't roll off the bag. As you can see here, when she pans to the right to the
And then
next
back to the
target,
second one.
it completely rolls over. So we had her shoot from this position twice, rather than moving back to the other side, because she couldn't use the center position at
Shooter
all.
ready.
And then, due to the shooting order, she got to go first on the tree stage here. So with this one, you engaged one target with 2 rounds from the 5 marked positions. Those are those orange painted spots, but with the line that's painted next to those cinder blocks, that wasn't a position. That was just more of a caution, don't trip over this type of paint. The target was at 451 yards. It was a 12-inch circle. With Annika here, I just focused on 3 positions rather than 5, so that she could be in the most stable positions. And it's pretty muddy and soupy down there in the bottom. Here, I was trying to coach her when she went in and out to bring the rifle straight in and straight forward and straight back, so that she's not flagging anyone, working on those safety things and manipulating the rifle. There she is, messing with her hat again. It'll be nice when we don't have to wear anything but a t-shirt or something. But those days are coming here shortly. Pull back all the way. Just go straight back.
You have 15 seconds.
There she kind of flags to the right. Work on her.
One good shot up.
Getting that muzzle straight down range, maintaining it down range.
One good shot off here.
Start on the right or left side. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Off the left. Do it again.
So I'm up next.
One more.
I struggled a little bit with this stage. It wasn't my best stage of the day, but it wasn't terrible. I didn't zero anything all day, but I certainly left plenty of impacts out there.
Impact.
Good shot.
Shooter ready?
Shooter's ready.
Stand by.
On this, I should have had my bag in my hand. Per the rules, that out here was supposed to be in hand. Not sure why I struggled so much on this stage. It was a relatively easy shot. I'm not sure if I just didn't get enough wind. Some of those not as supported shots, I didn't manage the recoil super effectively, so I didn't spot my miss. And with a shorter range shot, you have less time to recover on that, to spot that miss or impact. Because the bullet gets there quicker, there's less flight time. So Annika and I both shoot the same load in our competition rifles. We were shooting 108 grain ELDM match bullets from Hornady. I've been pleased with that bullet. It's economical to shoot as far as a match bullet's concerned. I typically get them from Mills Fleet Farm locally. Seems about twice a year they run a 15% off sale on Hornady bullets, and I can usually stock up then, get them for about $32 a hundred. So next we have a rock and gate stage where you have to switch between shooting from the rock at one target and then move over to the gate and shoot at another target. So on this one, you engage target 1 from with 2 rounds from any rock, and then you move to the gate and engage target 2 with 2 rounds, And then you repeat the rock gate combo for 5 positions for 10 rounds. Target 1 was 500 yards. Target 2 was 587 yards. Target 1 was a 14-inch circle, and target 2 was a triangle. Annika was up first here. She struggled a bit finding that target in her scope, but she ultimately found it. And struggled lifting the bolt and cocking and firing again. And that'll come with practice. This was quite literally her first time shooting the rifle. I had broken it in during the week while she was at school and things. So this was her first time shooting it. It was a birthday present for her. She was pretty excited. Friday night we went up to the office where I had it, and we adjusted the stock and cheek riser and things to fit her, because all those things are adjustable. She has the XLR NV Pro chassis on her rifle. I was fortunate enough to pick up a gift certificate for that off of a prize table the year prior. I believe I got that at, I want to say it was at the NRL country match in Waterloo. And then I had also picked up a 50% off Defiance Machine action certificate the fall prior. I think that was at the Lost Boys Cash Match finale match. Here I am up first, or on my go on this stage. With the Annika, I opted to use the bipod on the rock and rear bag. I thought that would give her a more stable platform than having to manage the bag only. And we chose a rock that was long enough that she could use both the bipod. I actually had a pretty decent run on this stage. Again, you know, we're panning a decent amount of left and right, so our windage changing. Our wind hold is changing substantially on this one, even though the targets are only 87 yard difference. Our wind hold is going from full value to, you know, about 20% value. And we couldn't repeat any rock or gate rung. I opted for the taller gate positions. One, as you get lower to the ground, those gate rungs get closer and closer together. So being able to fit your rifle plus a bag in there gets more challenging.
30 seconds.
You got time.
So on this stage, this was stage 4, and this was the tiebreaker stage, so we were timed on it. We had a shot timer, and any ties were decided by first number of points on this stage. If we had the same number of points, then it came down to time. So on this stage, you had to start standing port in, port arms, mag in, bolt back,
come up like a foot.
and then you build a prone position behind the barricade through one of the lower ports.
There you go.
And the muzzle had to be through the port, and you could not support your rifle on the barricade. You had to repeat this for 2 additional of the lower ports. And your target there was 3 targets. There was 2 12-inch circles and an 8-inch diamond. You engaged those 1 round each from right to left. And so on this stage, when I got my dope, I had accidentally inputted that I had, I think, a 50-mile-an-hour wind. And so Annika's dope was off, the elevation was off by 4/10. But we eventually found it and figured it out. That was the benefit of having her go first. I had to run that bipod at a 45 rather than 90 to get low enough to see through those ports, because otherwise I knew I was going to be, my scope, if I had it 90 with my bipod all the way collapsed as low as it could go, I knew my optic would be staring right into that 2x6 or 2x4 there on the barricade right where that green tape is. So there I'm just making some adjustments to her wind so that she can hold straight up. I tried to, for the most part, dial her wind so that she could hold in the center of the target rather than trying to have to hold off for windage. In the future, as she gets more seasoned, we'll go more towards holding wind rather than dialing. I'm up here. As you can see, if I was any higher, I would be staring right into that 2x4. I could see that green tape in the top of my objective, but I could still see the plate as well. So.
Impact.
And there I gave myself a little bit more wind. So I could go a little bit faster, considering this is a time stage. And one distance, one rack right next to each other. I opted to dial a little bit of wind on this one so I could go faster, hold on the center of the plates there. And since this was a timed stage.
Impact.
So the next stage was on top of the tower at a Sureshot, and that was a 5-target stage.
Impact.
And with that one, we build a prone position. Target 1, we engage each target with 2 rounds each, and target 1 was 333 yards, a 6-inch diamond. Target 2 was 457 yards. That was a square. Then we had target 3 was 533 yards, a 12-inch square. Then we had target 4, 635 yards, 14-inch square. Target 5 was 827 yards, and that was a 16-inch square. On this stage, I probably should have run my bipod slightly lower to get my rear bag more engaged with the stock, but we made do. So my rifle is a Defiance Tenacity action, a Krieger barrel, Area 419 brake, Critter Tech trigger, and a Graybow stock with a Razor HD J2 optic and Vortex precision match rings. Pretty much everything on the rifle was a gift certificate or prize table pickup. I used to shoot a Ruger precision rifle in 243 Win, a Gen 1. That's what I started competing with. And that rifle was great. Didn't really hold me back. But I was fortunate enough to finish well enough that I was able to pick up some of those prizes off of prize tables. And, you know, after I had picked up enough stuff, I decided I could put together a custom rifle. I've since sold that Ruger Precision rifle that funded a good chunk of my thermal purchase this last fall.
Check your bubble.
Annika's rifle is a Defiance Ruckus action, a Krieger barrel, a Impact Precision Ace brake, as I mentioned, the XLR NV Pro chassis, and then today she's running the Vortex Venom 5-25 scope. I had picked that up to throw on
To the right.
the Ruger Precision Rimfire rifle that I picked up in case we wanted to shoot some 22 matches or anything like that.
Hold on the right half of the plate.
She has a Razor HD Gen 3 coming, courtesy of Vortex on that. I've got a pretty decent relationship with Vortex.
Just off the left, to the right 210.
And they like to help youth shooters, so they were able to give me
Hold that same
a little bit of a break on that
30
optic.
seconds.
I still had to buy it, but had a nice discount.
Impact.
Knocked a little of the sting out of that optic. So she'll have a better rifle than Dad, but I might shoot it a little bit here and there.
Just off the left, to the right 2 more 10.
So again, just need to teach her how to manipulate that bolt a little bit faster and smoother, so that she can buy herself a little bit more time.
Go off the left.
She has no problem shooting the rifle, but the stuff in between is what we need to work on the most.
Hold that center.
Impact, dead center.
Send that again.
And again, thanks to my squad mates on this match. They were very generous. Always let Annika take a couple extra shots even after time had expired. Were more than patient with us, you know, getting set up. We had a lot of fun. They were very helpful in coaching Annika and being encouraging.
Check your bubble level.
Impact, low bottom right corner.
Hold up a little bit high and just slightly left of where you did.
Not much left, but yes. Just off that same spot.
So the next stage is stage 6, and on this one we had to shoot out of a truck bed. So we entered the truck bed and we had to build a position from 3 different positions and engage 3 different TYL or KYL racks. The first one was at 381 yards, and that was a 12-inch square, a 9-inch circle, and a 6-inch diamond. Then rack 2 was 585 yards, and it was a 16-inch circle, a 12-inch circle, a 10-inch circle, and then an 8-inch circle. And then rack number 3 was 766 yards, and that was a 16-inch square, a 14-inch circle, and a 12-inch circle. The last rack was you must hit to advance. I never found the last rack. I missed all 3 shots on that one. But it was a pretty stable position, as you can see here. I brought my knee up to give myself some rear support on my elbow, and then I was using my support hand underneath the stock there. And with the game changer,
30 seconds.
I use a medium game changer for most of my positional work. I do have an OG game changer as well. That if I need to, if I'm switching positions to the same position all the time, I'll throw two on two different barricades or whatever, and just switch between them and not have to manage taking the bag with me as well.
Engage.
Annika's up next.
Engage.
We started with her in the bed of the truck so that we didn't have to worry about movement and safety things. Up there, I was checking to make sure her bolt was all the way down. She might have not closed all the way, but she had.
You are shooting a D, right?
You're shooting a D, correct?
Yeah.
Alright. Now go to that circle in the middle, or on the left side.
On this stage, I noticed that her stock had kind of worked loose from adjusting it the night before. I must not have torqued it down quite enough. But didn't seem to affect her too much. And we got it rectified after this.
Yep. Last one, that diamond.
Where's my shooter?
And up here, you guys want to stand still.
That's enough to
Nice.
police our brass here on this stage
1
and
minute.
pick it all up for us. I believe John works at the Jordan Creek West Des Moines Shields, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Left to right. Big circle first.
So if you need any assistance there, you can go in and talk to him. He's pretty knowledgeable about all this stuff.
Just off right, I think.
And that's pretty much the same.
30 seconds.
What do you have to do? Oh yeah. Cody just had his non-first zero. Then I switched to a he hit targets. I don't know if maybe didn't have to anymore after I realized that
Oh, it says on me.
Alright. Go to H. Nope, you're too far left. Up.
Time. Keep going.
a couple different places that make them.
Okay.
I also need to work on with Annika on her trigger pull, trapping that trigger to the rear on her follow through. I need to work on that myself. I don't always do that.
Load now.
And then
Shooter ready?
stage number 7 was called tripod scramble. You had to shoot off of a tripod. You had to start with it collapsed, and you had to shoot from seated, a high kneeling, and then a standing position. And you had to ground your rifle in between each position and adjust the tripod. So here I started by sprawling the legs out a little bit to the second notch, and so I spent a little time doing that, and then for the high kneeling I was just going to go to a more vertical leg position.
Impact.
So that wasn't going to quite take as long as the initial position, so I was going to make up the time that it took there.
1 minute.
So just by folding the legs in, I gain the elevation that I need. And I used my tack table that I made last year on this stage, and I made it simply by taking a cheap plastic cutting board, cutting it in half, and then countersinking some 1/4-20 screws through it and attaching an Arca rail on the bottom, and all in I would think I've got maybe 20 bucks into it. A lot cheaper than even the 3D printed versions. So here I am adding another full leg extension to get to a standing position. And I was able to get all rounds off in the 2-minute time limit. 90 seconds would have been a little bit more of a challenge.
Impact.
Just barely.
Engage.
I didn't get Anacon video for that stage. Then the next stage was the tank trap head games. So on this one, you had to shoot 2 rounds from 5 positions on the tank traps. You had to impact each target with 2 rounds to neutralize that target. And the target order, if you cleaned it, would have been target 1, target 2, target 3, and then target 2 and target 1. Target 1 was 490 yards, target 2 was 598, target 3 was 700. And you couldn't repeat any positions on the tank trap. Here I made a poor decision to go off of the front post there, and I had to straddle that rear post. I struggled pretty hard on this stage. I don't know, I didn't feel like I was that wobbly, but I just wasn't getting the impacts. The shot really wasn't that difficult. The target was pretty generous, 10-inch circle.
40 seconds.
The reason I didn't go to that left leg on this near tank trap was I had watched some shooters go before me, and they tried that position, and given the length of that leg and the weight of the rifle, the tank trap was kind of floating on them. So I didn't choose to utilize that nearest leg to me. Farthest leg away from in the video. Annika, on the other hand, on this stage did exceptionally well.
Stand by. Engage.
She went 6 for 8. She even got 2 impacts on that far target, which is very good for a position stage.
Impact. Do it again.
Yeah, how novice she is. She did go over the 2-minute time limit, but we had fun.
Impact.
And I got her. Move the rifle. It's a pretty heavy rifle. Here, at this position, I got on the side of her, and I kind of just put some pressure on the fore end of her chassis, because I could see if she was trying to come back to the left just a little bit, she was going to contact her barrel on that front leg. And in order to avoid her
Impact.
pushing her shots over just by putting pressure on that barrel, I prevented her from doing that.
Just off the right. Impact. All the way out. Impact. Now shoot it again. Finish that.
As you can see here, Annika has pretty good fundamentals. Squared up behind the rifle, bent at the waist.
High.
Kind of gets her body in line with the
Wind was
rifle.
good.
At least with her upper body creating more of a prone position. Nice wide base with the feet.
Impact.
Alright, good work.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a good run.
Nice.
Awesome run.
Are you giving classes?
Shooting
What's
on
that?
her
Yeah.
court.
You gonna teach us old farts how to shoot?
So that was the end of the match. We had a lot of fun, and we look forward to shooting more matches there in the future.